website is probably better that way.
Okay. So, how long have you been watching the show?
I um I, I watched season one of Big Brother because it was right after Survivor.
Yeah.
I was getting, I got into Survivor, and then Big Brother was kind of like the real world meets Survivor, and I was a fan of both shows. So season one I watched pretty closely. Then two, three, four, and five kind of would catch it here and there. Didn't really keep up with it, but season six I got my first DVR, and that totally changed my watching experience because I was able to catch up. And it was around the same time I started noticing all the websites popping up, recapping what was going on, and slowly but surely I just got more and more into it. And to me, season six is one of my favorite ones because it was the first one that I really was full in on. I also love season nine. I think season nine was a very underrated season because of the season that was thrown together at the last minute.
Yeah, I remember.
Some great personalities. I've become friends with Crazy James and Alex. Alex actually DJ'd my wedding. Natalie from that season is one of my all-time favorites. I do a charity event up in New Hampshire, Toys for Tots, and Matt McDonald's parents, sister, always come out to support us. So that's pretty cool. And season 10 was the first season I tried out for it. And
it took you 3 years to make it?
Well, yeah. Season
Wow.
10 I tried out and nothing happened. I went to the open call, never heard back.
Damn.
Season 11 I was just too busy with personal life. Season 12 I went out there and tried out again. I got a phone call to do a second interview. I got a phone call telling me to come to Los Angeles for finals. I meet with all the producers. I think, oh yeah, this is it. And a week before they announce the cast, they tell me, thanks but no thanks. But they liked me and they told me to stay in touch. So a year later, casting started again. I called my casting agent, the casting director from Big Brother, and I was like, dude, wait till you see me. I lost 100 pounds since you see me last. I got myself a girlfriend. My confidence through the roof. And I told him I wanted to be the first person that he saw when he came to New York, just so that he would have to judge everybody else against me.
Did you like the twist that season? That was a crazy twist because like Evil Dick, he went out because of the family issues. So I think the game would have been changed if he was still in there. But like playing the game with 6 people, that past contestants, that's insane.
Yeah, and not just 6, people that got on the show. It was 6 hardcore.
Yeah,
games.
great.
Sorry, 5 hardcore games, and the sweetest girl that I've ever met in Jordan. That girl, she did not know. She hated when you had to play evil. She hated the fact that when you had to do something that was not what you wanted to do personally, but better for you.
Yeah.
But she was still. I mean, you saw when her and Shelly got into a huge fight. That was so not typical Jordan. And the next day, I remember her coming up to me and asking me if people at home are gonna think bad about her. And I said, no, you were standing up for yourself. In fact, people, I'm sure you love you even more now. But she was just so worried that, the ugly side of the game got the best of her.
What's your favorite food that has bacon in it?
The best thing I've ever eaten with bacon. Dynamo Donuts in San Francisco.
Is that what you posted on your Twitter?
Yeah.
That looked awesome.
They make a bacon apple maple donut, which is just out of this world. It's I took a bite of it the first time and I thought it was delicious. I bought a couple of them because I knew about the place. I'd never been there. Brought it back to my hotel talk about how goddamn good it is. If you're in the San Francisco area or ever going to San Francisco, Dynamo Donut, Bacon Apple Maple Donut, you'll be a changed person.
What? Okay. If you could play your game over again, what would you change? You were a nice person in the game. I thought that was very respectable because I like people like Mike Boogie and Dr. Will who they like play dirty, but sometimes that won't work up in the new seasons. If you play like that in the new seasons, I don't.
You see, it's become a bit of an art, so to speak, of
Yeah.
how to play the game. Like nobody, people love, as a fan, you love to watch the dance, Dr. Will, you love to see the manipulation, people that can just, manipulate everybody. I think the one thing about my game that kind of went unseen was nobody was actually manipulating me. Like, I knew what was going on.
Yeah.
I knew, like, I would sit there in bed at night, laying there, pretending to be asleep, and just running every scenario through to see what was better for my game. And unfortunately, it's not the game that people on TV like
Yeah.
to watch. And Danielle called me out on it when she wanted me to save her the night of the double eviction. And she basically said to me, you're handing a check to Jeff. And I'm like, so you'd rather I hand a check to you? That's why you don't like what I'm doing, because it's not benefiting you. Keeping Jeff around benefited me. That got me
Farther.
a little bit further. And I never trust Danielle. So that's actually, if I were to ever play my game over, trusting her and going with her side, I don't know if that's the way I'd want to play it, but hey, I'd like to see how that would have played out. But no, it was being, the floater, the piggyback, or whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call me. I know it's not fun to watch. Spencer, on his season, he was the permanent pawn. He was on the block all the time. He just stayed. And, if you watch Big Brother 3, Godfrey played my exact same game, except he was throwing more competitions. I just sucked at competition. But that was, my skill set. I wasn't built to, stand on a wall holding onto two paddles with my feet.
See, I watch live feeds, so I saw your inside game. I watched Godfrey's live feeds. There's a lot more that goes into it that they don't put on CBS.
Because it's not the interesting thing to watch, and that's one of the things too. As a fan of the show and as an ex-player, when I meet other fans, I ask them, "Are you CBS only, or do you watch the live feeds?" Because I know the people that watch the live feeds see so much more. They see it in the order that it's actually happening. That was one of the really odd things was when I was, watching the game on TV, watching the show afterwards, and seeing conversations that happened out of sequence, and I was like, it's a TV show. So as a live feeder, more of what's going on.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm thinking. Oh, what about? Did you want to shave your beard?
You know what? Honestly, yes. It was. As I said, before season 13, I started dating my now wife, Farrah, and at the time, my beard was a little bit longer than it is now. And one of her best friends used to always make fun of me, whenever we were out, she would grab me by the chin, when are you gonna shave this thing? When are you gonna shave this thing? So the joke was I'll shave it on my 40th birthday. Knowing full well that because I was a finalist the year before, my 40th birthday could take place in the Big Brother house. So that was always the joke. I'll shave it on my 40th birthday, figuring I'm not going to be around you on my 40th birthday. You can't hold me accountable. Well, I didn't think about it like this. I said it so much that by the time I got into the house, I'm like, well, if I'm here on my birthday, I have to shave my beard. I made a promise. If I'm on national television, I gotta make do. It wasn't intentional, but it was a good game of it. It was a good game of it. It just showed me as an even forward, and if and when.
He's Oh snap! I think he froze.